Guess what? On this episode, I got another recipe for you guys, and I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy this one. This is a breakfast recipe, and some people use it for dinner time. I'll just give you a heads up right now. This is a deep fried cornmeal donut. I love this recipe. This is from my home country, Venezuela, specifically from the western state of Zulia, which is where I am from. This is a specialty from this state, and I'm very excited to share this because it's very close to my heart. I literally grew up with this, meal. In America, I feel like your typical thing would be, pancakes, waffles, but MANDOCAS were my thing, and they still are. They're super delicious. The most messed up thing is that I don't like, it has plantains. I don't like plantains, but I do like them in this form because I technically don't see them. So Allison, I'm dedicating this video for you, pretty girl. This is my sister-in-law who really likes this. And honestly, anyone who does have celiac disease as well, because this is a gluten-free recipe. This is a gluten-free meal, and it's super delicious because, who doesn't want a donut? And by the way, it kind of looks like a horseshoe, but it's super delicious. Okay, guys, I think we should get started. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Just kidding. So guys, before we officially get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, be sure to press on that red button down below, that red box, and also so that you receive all the notifications from me, be sure to click on the bell that's right at the top so you can receive everything and be up to date. All right, guys, yeah, let's get frying. Let's fry some food. All right, guys, so we're going to start with 6 cups of cornmeal flour. We're also going to be using 1 block of dehydrated sugar cane, and we're going to be using about 2 to 3 cups of CINCHO cheese, and then 1 to 2 plantains. And then what we're going to be doing first is actually boil our sugar cane, which will be in about 7.5 cups of water. Heads up, you will end up having about 3 cups of extra water. So yes, this is the very first time that we're actually measuring things because we normally eyeball this recipe. So yes, you will be having about 3 cups of water extra, and you will be using only 4.5 cups of water, which means you will have, some extra, but that's okay. You can actually make some lemonade with that extra water, which it's actually very delicious with sugar cane. So because we're going to be using this, sugared water, I'm gonna let it sit. It's now done, but I'm gonna let it sit for maybe 30 to 35 minutes, have it cool down so that when it's time to make the dough, we can get started. And now, as you guys can see, I'm going to be grating the cheese, and I'm actually going to be using the second size of the grater, and yes, we are going to be using all of this cheese. And then now we're going to bring our focus into our plantains, and I'm actually going to grate it, and you are going to use the highest level of the grater so that we can have nice big chunks of plantain. And I ended up using 1.5 here. Again, as mentioned, you can use 1 to 2. And I just had, 1 and then a random half. So I just ended up using 1.5 plantains for this recipe. Now we can officially bring our focus into kneading the dough. And as mentioned, we are going to be using only 4.5 cups of water. Well, sugared cane water. And I'm actually going to be adding it, in a couple portions just because it makes this process a lot easier. And if you've never done this before, this is definitely an easier way to knead your dough, especially this white cornmeal flour that not everyone is used to. So I definitely recommend just, adding the sugared cane water in portions. And I'm definitely going to be, kneading this dough until I am satisfied. And honestly, guys, by that, I mean that until you don't feel lumps in your dough. So by the time that you don't feel as many lumps, you can feel free to add your plantain. And then at some point after I have kneaded the plantain within the dough, I will also be adding the cheese. And we're going to be using about 2 to 3 cups of cheese for this recipe. You can use up to 3 cups. It depends how cheesy you want this deep fried cornmeal donut. Good news, guys, I am so satisfied with how this is looking, so we can finally start making this cornmeal donut that I keep talking about. And before I even begin, I'm actually going to heat up my oil on high heat when we first start, just so that it heats up as fast as it can, because believe it or not, making this is actually a very quick process. As you guys already saw, I took a small portion of the dough and now I am rolling it. And what you're simply going to do is just close it. It's kind of like a closed horseshoe. And you're going to continue to do that with all of your mandocas. Guys, you can do this to make them somewhat thinner and longer, like as you can see here, or you can just make them a lot bigger and chunky. I definitely recommend making it kind of like a medium size, like not too thin and not too chunky, because it makes the process a lot easier. As you guys noticed, we went from high heat to medium heat now that we are officially frying our mandocas, and you're going to be flipping this around, you know, as you see the color change. And the color that we are seeking is golden to, you know, light brown, and you'll notice that. And depending on how big you want them, guys, you can get about 35 to 40 mandocas. And yes, guys, look at these beauties. They are now ready and my family is hungry. And the way that you can pair this is actually with pink sauce and cheese. The pink sauce is literally ketchup and mayo. And if you don't want that, you can also have it with just mayo. Or if you don't want that, you can also have it with butter. But what we like to do is actually, you know, grab our sauce. And you'll see in a little bit here. And we like to dip it first in the sauce and then cheese.